Hey guys, it's me, GB, and today I've brought to you a top 5 list of the worst Gladiator Beasts of all time. Now, you guys probably know that there are some very bad Gladiator Beasts, such as Gladiator Beast Andal, who will not be included on this video just for the fact that he's a normal monster, and honestly, he'd take first place if I had him on this list, so just saying he's not going to be included. And also, I just really want to tell you guys that I'm sorry I haven't brought to you an updated deck profile of Glad Beast yet. It's just that the cards haven't gotten here yet, and I contacted the seller, and they said that if it doesn't come back by tomorrow, or if it doesn't get here by tomorrow, then I'll have to contact them again, but it should probably be here by tomorrow. So, without further ado, let's get right into this, into this list. So, at our number 5 spot, we have Gladiator Beast Tigurius. He's a level 4 monster, or level 4 Glad Beast with 1800 attack points, and his effect reads, cannot be used as fusion material. That's already, pretty bad because Glad Beast, all about fusion summoning. And when he's special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, discard a Gladiator Beast card to add a Gladiator Beast card from your deck to your hand. And, I guess that's an okay effect, but I can only think of one scenario when that would work, and that's if you're discarding a Gladiator Beast card, any card, to add a Gladiator Beast, or Gladiator, what's it called? It's the card that lets you shuffle 3 Gladiator Beast cards from your deck, or from your grave back into your deck, and then you draw a card. It's just more fuel for that, that's all I can think of. In fact, it can't even be used as, it can't even be shuffled back into the deck. It doesn't have the, the standard Gladiator Beast effect that lets it should be shuffled back after battling, and special another. It just stays on the field. So that's why he's number 5. Alright. Number 4, it's actually 2 cards that are on this list for very similar reasons, and they are 2 of the Gladiator Beast equip spells. If you guys didn't know, yes, Gladiator Beasts do have equip spells. 2 of which are very bad. And the first one is Gladiator Beast Battle Archfiend Shield. Basically, all it reads is equip only to a Gladiator Beast. Yeah, that's standard for all the equip spells for Glad Beasts. And if the equip monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. If it's sent to the grave because the equip monster was shuffled into the deck, add it back to your hand. Now, that's weird because now, I would expect it to have some effect like once per turn the equipped monster can be destroyed, but no, it's like, if it's destroyed, destroy this card instead. So basically it has almost no effect because you're probably going to be running your Gladiator Beast into a bigger monster, and you would want to add the shield back into your hand for it, but you don't get to because the shield destroys itself to protect the Gladiator Beast. So it doesn't make very much sense to me. The other one is Gladiator Beast's Battle Gladius, and all it does is give the equipped monster 300 attack points. That's it, and of course it adds itself back to the person's hand if the monster is shuffled back into the deck. But that's all it does, just an additional 300 points to a Glad Beast. It really will not turn the tide of the battle or anything, It's no big deal at all. Alright, in our number 3 spot is also actually a combination of 2 monsters that are in this list for very similar reasons, which are Gladiator Beast Alexander and Gladiator Beast Spartacus. So Alexander, I'll start with Alexander. He's a level 6 monster with 2400 attack, 600 defense, and he can only be special summoned by the effect of Gladiator Beast Dimikari, which means you have to run Dimikari. And Dimikari is very bad. He's like a 1600 attack point, and all he does, if he's special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, he can just attack twice per battle phase, that's it. And Alexander requires you to run him in your deck. So his main effect is that he's unaffected by spells, which means a lot of good cards, like for example Pianissimo, it won't affect him at all. It won't let him be destroyed, or he'll be destroyed. And like the equip spells, they'll have no effect on him whatsoever. It can really go either way. If your opponent wants to Dark Hole your field or Raigeki, he'll protect you, but is it really worth it? Like, really worth running Dimikari in your deck just to get him out. And, you know, the whole unaffected by spells, that can be a pretty big deal at times. And, of course, he has the same Gladiator Beast effect, where you can shuffle him back into your deck, special summon a Glad. Moving on to Spartacus. Spartacus is basically the same thing. Spartacus is a level 5, 2200 attack points, 1600 defense points, and he can only be special summoned by the effect of Gladiator Beast Hoplimus. If you don't know Hoplimus, he has, I believe, 400 attack points and 2100 defense points, and his effect only just, you know, if he's special summoned by the effect of a Glad, it just bumps him up to 2400, so he's basically like a Laquari, just gets a 300 attack point boost. So Spartacus requires you to run him on this in your deck. And what his main effect is, when he's special summon, add one Gladiator Beast equipped spell from your deck to your hand. So you have to be running not only, you know, Spartacus, of course, which could easily brick because you can't special summon him through the effect of Augustus. And the only way to get him back into your deck is through cards like Gladiator Beast Respite, where, you know, shuffle 2 Glad Beast cards from your hand back into your deck, draw 3. And he also requires you to actually play the equip spells, which I do not. I don't like the equip spells one bit, but if I had to play them, I'd probably play Battle Manica. It prevents destruction. That's it. It's probably the best of the equip spells, too. Spartacus also has the effect, shuffle him back into your deck, and special a Glad. That's it. Alright, so I guess we'll get to our number 2. Which is Gladiator Beast Thorax. He's a level 3, 1400 attack point, 400 defense point monster, and he's horrendous, alright? If he's special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, at the end of any battle phase that this card attacked or was attacked, you can return it to the deck to draw a card. Just think about that for a second, okay? He has to be special summoned by a Gladiator Beast, which means you're giving up one of your Glad Beasts for him. And then, to get his good effect off, which he has to be special summoned by a Glad, you have to attack or let him be attacked. Keep in mind, he has 1400 attack. It's not going to do much. And then, he shuffles himself back into the deck, and you draw a card. Now, it would be mediocre. I mean, mediocre might even be an over-exaggeration, like an overstatement. But I think he'd be a little bit better if it was you can shuffle him back into the deck, special summon a Glad, and then draw a card. Or even better, when he's special summoned, draw a card. I would actually, you know, that'd be pretty good then. I would probably run him. You know, drawing through your deck, that can be really good. But no, he isn't. So that is, he's not very good at all. So, before we get to our number 1 mention, or our number 1, I have 2 honorable mentions I'd like to say. One of them is Gladiator Beast Gaiodiaz, or Gaiodiaz, however you want to say it. He has 2600 attack points, 1500 defense, he's level 7, and he's one of the fusion monsters. His fusion materials are Gladiator Beast Spartacus and a Glad Beast. Now, you're probably thinking, Ty, why in the world do you not have him on this list if he requires Spartacus to summon him? It's because, I mean, although Link summoning has nerfed Glad Beast quite a bit, Tame Redditor can still bring him out, and you only need 2 Link zones with, like, Mrs. Radiant or something. Or, you know, Decode Talk or whatever you want to play. You just need 2 Link zones, and he can be special summoned by Mrs. Radiant's effects, and he's got a pretty okay effect, and that's, like, one of the only reasons why I'm not having him on this list, but he is very bad still. It's if this card destroys if this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the grave, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the defense of that monster. So that can be pretty good. Like, if you're going against a deck like, say, I don't know, Toads, Frogs, you know, Totally Awesomes. A lot of the cards in there do have relatively high defense stats, or in Paleozoic too. The Paleozoic Xyz, they have high defense stats. I mean, they're not exactly competitively or meta relevant, but still, you know, That's just an example of things you can do. But at the end of the battle phase, shuffle to special summon 2 Glad Beasts. So he also has the pretty standard fusion effect. And our second honorable mention is Gladiator Beast Lanista. He has 1,800 attack points, 1,200 defense, and he's level 4. It's already sounding pretty good, but once you get to his effect, you'll see why, he's not as good as you'd think. If he's special summoned by the effect of a Glad Beast, target 1 Glad Beast in your grave, banish it, then this card's name becomes the target's name until the end phase. And then of course he has the standard shuffle back into the deck Glad Beast effect, but I was actually going to play him in my deck before I discovered Gladiator Beast Prisma, Elemental Hero Prisma. Because Prisma basically does the same thing without having to have it in the grave. He can reveal and then send it from the deck to the grave. So, Prisma is a bit better, but if I did run Lanista, I'd only run 1. It's too risky, but 800 attack, those are pretty good stats. 800 attack, 1,200 defense. So yeah, those are the last of my honorable mentions, and for number 1, the worst Gladiator Beast card of all time, aside from, of course, Andal, is Trojan Gladiator Beast. It's a trap card, and its effect reads, special summon 1 Gladiator Beast from your hand to your opponent's side of the field, then draw 1 card. Yeah, that's it. It's really bad. So, let's start from the beginning. First of all, you are, just in terms of, what's it called, how good you're doing in the duel, you're necking yourself 1 right there. Like, think about it, you're using the card, you're special summoning a Glad Beast from your hand to your opponent's side of the field, so that's giving them some card advantage. That's the word I was trying to look for before, card advantage. And then you're drawing a card, so you just lost 2 cards, gave your opponent more board presence, and then all you got out of that was 1 card. Alright, think about that. Like, first, and you have to have a Gladiator Beast in your hand to special summon to your opponent's side of the field. I don't know about you guys, but I'd much rather play a Respite where I could shuffle the Glad Beast back into my deck and draw. But, I mean, honestly, why does this card exist? Special summon a Gladiator Beast from your hand to your opponent's side of the field. The only, and I mean only thing I could think of you doing is special summoning, say a Secutor if you have one in your hand, because he's a pretty good Glad Beast. If you use him correctly, he can easily be your win condition when you do the duel. But, special Secutor to your opponent's side of the field if you're really desperate. Attack your Glads into the Secutor, destroy the Secutor, contact out the Glads, and then, special summon more. That's the only thing I could think of, though. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if you guys think that there's a card worse than this, other than Andal, please tell me down below. Because, I mean, I think all the other Glad Beast cards are, more mediocre. But, well, that's all I have to say, and I will try to bring you a Gladiator Beast deck profile as soon as I can. I do have most of the cards ready, it's just I'm waiting for a few that are a few key cards. But, until then, I will see you guys next time, hopefully tomorrow, or the next day. See ya. Bye.